Hello guys, welcome to First Step Future India. In this video, we're going to see about NCERT Classics Our Past 1 history book. In that chapter 4, what books and burials tells us. After Harappan civilization, we came to know about the importance of our past, even in modern Indian history, like Indian national movement, the freedom struggle. Knowing our past makes us to believe in ourselves and to fight against the British. So this plays, knowing about our past plays a vital role in our freedom struggle also. So we started to think about more past, we started to hunt about other civilizations. So this led to the historians or archaeologists to concentrate more on books and other form of evidences that proves what our past was. So in this chapter we are going to see about Vedas. Vedas is a older book. There are 4 of them: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurva Veda and Atharva Veda. In this chapter it mainly deals with the Rig Veda. So Rig Veda is the oldest text. So it is about 3500 years age and it contains more than thousands of hymns. This is called as Sukta, meaning well said. So this Veda mainly deals with 3 major gods: Agni, Indra, Soma. These are written by sages called Rishi, and the majority of men only participated in composing Vedas rather than women. The women participation is very less here. This we have to note it out. And the language used to compose Veda is Vedic Sanskrit. The Sanskrit which we use today is far different from the Vedic Sanskrit. So from here we can understand that Veda is nothing but old book that contains 4 types of Vedas, and it is the oldest text written mostly by the men, and women participation here is very small. And then the Vedas is talks more about through religion. So through religion, one generation of people teach the younger ones about the God, form of life they have to live, and the knowledge what they acquired, everything has been transferred through the Vedas. The education system compared to today is far different from during that time. Like they didn't use the written and printed form, they rather recited and heard rather than read. So this is very new thing, right? We rely on the written documents or the solid proof, right? But the teachings of Vedas were given by the teachers who studied as a student and they teach to the younger ones. The knowledge didn't transfer from book to book, it transferred from people to people. In my opinion, it is one of the reason why we can't rely on Vedas about knowing the past. We can extract certain informations what we want, but relying complete on Vedas to know about the past is not the right way to do, in my opinion. So there are other family of languages also. The Sanskrit belongs to Indo-European family, and there are other families like the Tibeto-Burman family, Dravidian family, Austro-Asiatic family. So this Dravidian family is nothing but the South Indian languages all belongs to the Dravidian family, right? So as I have told you, the sons were not get to be successors as soon as their father died. So it is not hereditary. As well as certain words described about the community like Jana, Vish. So the word Vaishya comes from the Vish. The meaning Vaishya is nothing but a common people. And the group of people were named as Purujana, Yadujana, Bharatajana, likewise also. And then in Vedas, they themselves described as Aryas, and their opponents, enemies, were described as Dasas or Dasiyus. So they described they didn't perform any sacrifices and they spoke different language from the Aryans. The word Dasa became Dasi after some time, meaning the women as well as the slave. And the Rig Veda was composed in the northwest region of the subcontinent. Now another civilization we came to know through megalith. Mega means big and lith means stones. So this is nothing but a big stones. It mainly witnessed in the Deccan, South India, Northeast and Kashmir region. So this is the exact photograph of megaliths. So this is these are the burials, and around this we can see the stones were arranged in the circular form, and these stones are bigger stones, and there are certain materials also along with the burials. So this exact picture is called is an example of cyst, and there are portholes also used as an entrance. So this is the portholes on in-way and the out-way. So the burials are often underground. As I have told you, it is a circle of stones, and there are not only circle of stones as well as there are single large stones also used as a mark or for the indication. These dead bodies are kept in the pots, namely black and red ware, and along with the body there are tools also. It is made up of iron. Also there are skeletons of horses, equipments, ornaments of stones and gold also found along with the dead body. So this indicates that the person who died and their belongings, including the horse they used, everything were buried along with them. So these are the evidence for a tool and the horse equipment. So the best example for this burial site is Brahmagiri. When we studied about these burials, depending upon the tools and the precious metals and stones what they kept along with the dead bodies, we came to know there is a difference in status. So there were poor also, rich people also. So we came to know about the status of people and how they were treated. So with these materials we came to know there is a difference in the society classes also. And one more thing what we saw there is, in the same place we found a different skeletons of same family. For example, the male figure of the family, when he died, he might have buried in a place, and after a few years when another person of the same family died, again this place were opened and again they were also buried in the same place. Likewise, the members of the family were buried in the same place at the different time, and the megaliths were used as an indication or sign to plot their family burial places. So this also we came to know in these burial sites, and these portholes were used as an entry and exit. And another example like Brahmagiri is Inamgon. Here we can see river God, which is a tributary of Bhima. It was occupied between 3600 to 2700 years ago, and they used certain pattern like the head were buried or kept in the north direction. Also they kept food, water and many belongings of the dead person along with them. And also one man, a single person who was buried in the big house with many items, the cross-leg position, and that building were used for a granary. So these evidence we all collected from the Inamgon. When they started digging these dead bodies, they found several skeletons. So how they differentiated the skeleton of men from the women? By the pelvic area. Women's pelvic area is larger than the men's pelvic area because women give birth. Also, they had around 360 bones compared to the modern anatomy of 200 bones. So this is where they arrived the chakra, counting the teeth, joint and cartilage, everything. Apart from the burials, they also found seeds like wheat, barley, rice, pulses, millets, peas and sesame. Also, the animals which had animals' bones which had cut marks. This indicates people ate those animals as a food. For that, such examples are cattle, buffalo, goat, sheep, dog, horse, ass, pig, sambar, spotted deer, black buck, antelope, hare and mongoose. So these were used as a food. Not only this, along with this, bird, crocodile, turtle, crab, fish, and fruits like bear, amla, jamun, everything were used by the people. So there are evidence for this also. So finally, in China, there is called as oracle bone. Oracle bone is nothing but an animal bone. They used to write these messages on the animal bone, and they also says that they predicted future with these bones. What they do is they throw these bones into the fire, and when it is exposed to the fire, certain crack will appear, right? So depending upon the crack, they will predict the future, but this is not exact all the times. Reading about this, we came to know around 3500 years ago, the people in China, they believed certain things. So they believe, we came to know, kings of those places had palaces and they are very wealthy, and they used bronze vessels also, but they didn't know about the iron. There is no use of iron during that time. So this is how we studied about the past using the remains. And this is another important thing. So around the composition of Veda done around 3500 years ago, and megaliths were around 3000 years ago. So the Vedas and megaliths overlaps, right? In Enamgon, the settlements were around between 1600 and 2700 years ago, and the chakra were studied around 2000 years ago. So these were the important things. Just give a read. If you have any doubt, just comment it in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you didn't subscribe the channel, do subscribe it now, and all the very best. Study well. See you in the next video.